Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations, much love and respect to you, Akim, out there pushing this word out in truth and sincerity. This lesson is going to be dealing with the different words for strangers. This is not meant to be long. This is just a quick edification because you have certain individuals coming up with doctrines and saying that, certain places where it says strangers, which is not speaking about the actual strangers, is speaking about the heathen nations, right? There's certain strangers that are known in the scriptures as actual strangers, and then there's strangers that are actually Israelites, okay, that are sojourners. And I'm going to go into some of these words. What I want to get, I think it's Exodus 21 and 8. Let's go to Exodus 21 and 8 real quick. Actually, let's see here. Okay, you know what? Let's go here. Stranger, rigor. Let's try this one here. Okay, we're gonna do some research through the Spirit. Right. Let's deal with Exodus 12, right? Because we know. Let's deal with Exodus 12. This is Exodus 12 in 48. It says, "And when a stranger shall sojourn with thee, and will keep the Passover to Yahweh, let all his males be circumcised, and then let him come near and keep it. And he shall be as one that is born in the land, for no uncircumcised person shall eat thereof." All right, so let's go to the interlinear. Let's go to, you see this word for sojourn, it says gar, right? And the word stranger is the same word, gar, but for some reason Esau pronounces it different. He has G-U-R and here he has G-A-R, but it's the same, pretty much the same word. This is gawar, actually. This is gawar, right? Which comes from the word gar. Okay, this is gawar, excuse me. But it comes from the word gar. In other words, gar is the root word of this word sojourn. Okay, so let's go into the word gar for stranger. Okay, you see the root word. No, actually, the root word of gar is gawar. Excuse me, it's the other way around. But they mean the same thing. A sojourner, okay, a temporary inhabitant, a newcomer lacking inherited rights, okay, of foreigners in Israel, though conceded rights. So this does not mean that the person is a heathen. Okay, this just means that they're a sojourner. In other words, they're not presently living in Israel. They're just passing through. Okay. See here, you even have the word proselyte. Okay, because you got Israelites in the New Testament that were known as proselytes, which were what? Which were newly converted to the fact that they were Israelites, and that they can possibly be they can be delivered because they're Israelites. All right. This is in the, what's this? The Briggs Lexicon. It says sojourner, temporary dweller, newcomer, no inherited rights. Right. That's why when you go to Right. So when you go to hear explanation of the name Gershom, Moses' son, right? Gershom means what? Gershom, gar is within the word, is in the name Gershom, right? Because what? Saying that he was a stranger. Okay, but was he a strange nation? No, he was an Israelite. Okay, but that's that word gar. Let's go to, real quick, I want to deal with the Commonwealth of Israel, because that's in the New Testament. right? Ephesians 2. This is Ephesians 2 and I'll start at verse 11. It says, wherefore remember that ye being in time past Gentiles in the flesh. Okay, speaking to the Israelite foreigners. Okay, they were Gentiles at one time, who are called uncircumcision. Why were they Gentiles? Because of they were uncircumcised by that which is called the circumcision, which is the Israelites that were born in the customs, in the flesh, made by hands. That at that time ye were without Hamashiach, being aliens from the commonwealth of Israel. Now the commonwealth, that goes into inheritance rights. Okay, so that's why it said that the stranger was what? A person without inheritance rights from the commonwealth of Israel, and strangers from the covenants of promise. Yes, you were strangers. The word here in the Hebrew, right? If you can go and check it in the Hebrew, it should be gar. Okay, having no hope and without the Most High in the world, but now in Hamashiach Yahushai, ye who sometimes were far off are made nigh by the blood of Hamashiach, right? Because before Yahushua did that sacrifice, man, you had to be born in the customs, man, or you were counted as a straight up heathen. No question, no ifs or buts about it. Okay? You were counted as a straight up heathen. There's many scriptures that say if you do such and such, you shall be cut off from your people. You do such and such, you shall be cut off from your people. All right? So now let's go to there's another scripture I wanted. Hired, maybe I should say hired servant, maybe. That word should be in there. No, hired servant. Let's see. I think this is going into the Passover again, right? We read something about the Passover saying how a stranger that sojourn among you, he can eat it. But now it's saying a foreigner and a hired servant cannot eat thereof. I kind of want to see what that word is, but I'm looking for something first. Well, still, that's it. I think this is it. This is Leviticus 25 and 39. It says, and if thy brother that dwelleth by thee be waxen poor and be sold unto thee, thou shalt not compel him to serve as a bondservant, right? So a fellow Israelite, a fellow Israelite that falls into poverty, you shall not treat him as a bondservant, but as what? But as an hired servant, or so a indentured servant. Okay, which that's what them Irish were when they came over to the Americas. They were indentured servants. They weren't. It wasn't the same as the so-called blacks that were in captivity, the Judites. It was different. Okay, it was a different form of captivity. It shows you that in 12 Years a Slave, how he didn't get beat. He barely picked up anything, but he didn't get beat. Right, but if Jake would just miss by a couple, he would beat them till they couldn't see. Okay, so that was the difference between a hired servant and an actual bond slave. Okay, it says, but as an hired servant. So like it says, but as an hired servant and as a sojourner, he shall be with thee, and shall serve thee unto the year of Jubilee. So see, so that's that 7-year period, okay, that we were to be in servitude under our brother. And then what? He would leave you with substance. I want to just look up this word real quick. Oh my gosh, these people, bro. I'm telling you, bro. Anyways, Salakia. And that's not a brother. That's some guy from the world. So this is the word for Okay, actually, no, I'm looking at the wrong one. It should be the next verse. Yeah. Here it says sojourner. This is another word for a sojourner, right? Because you have gar or gawar, okay? But this one is a thawashab, but it means the same thing as gar. Okay, sojourner, stranger. You see, so this is showing you a difference between these different words. And now I'm going to show you where it says something different. Oh, shalom to the Zaquan, shalom to the brother GMS in his lightness. Okay. I'm going to read the scripture. Moses' son, right. I mentioned that just before. That's the spirit. I mentioned Moses' son, Gershom, right, which Gar is within his name. He was a stranger in Midian, but he wasn't a heathen. Okay. Right. It didn't mean heathen. Rather, he wasn't as another nation to them, but it didn't mean heathen. It just means like a traveler, someone who's passing through. This is Exodus 2:22. It says, "And she bare him a son, and he called his name Gershom, for he said, I have been a stranger in a strange land." Okay. Now, when you come to there's another scripture I'm looking for, Salakia, where you're not supposed to rule over. How do you spell that word rigor, man? I gotta spell that right, man. Rigor. No, I'm saying R-G-O-R. Is that it? Damn. Let me type in the word oppress. I'm sure the word oppress is in there. Salakia, give me a second. I'm looking for that scripture. Damn, where's that scripture at? Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go to Google real quick. I'll go to Google. Okay, Leviticus 25. Okay, let's go here. Let's go to Leviticus 25 and verse 46. Okay, rigors with a U. Okay. Just typing in there. R-I-G-O-U-R. Okay. Okay, right here. Okay, it says, okay, let's do verse 41. This is Leviticus 25 and 41. It says, "And then he depart from thee, both he and his children." Matter of fact, let's go up to verse 39. It says, "And if thy brother that dwelleth by thee be waxen poor, and be sold unto thee, thou shalt not compel him to serve as a bondservant, but as an hired servant. And as a sojourner he shall be with thee, and shall serve thee unto the year of Jubilee. And then shall he depart from thee, both he and his children, and children with him, and shall return unto his own family, and unto the possession of his fathers shall he return. For they are my servants, which I brought forth out of the land of Egypt. They shall not be sold as bondmen." So we were not supposed to sell Israelites as bondservants, okay? As Esau did to us. We were not supposed to do that, okay? But guess what? We could do that to the other nations. "Thou shalt not rule over him with rigor, but thou shalt fear thy power. Both thy bondmen and thy bondmaids, which thou shalt have, shall be of heathen that are round about you, and them shall ye buy bondmen and bondmaids. So let's go to the word heathen. Okay, I just want to see what that says. Goya, okay, Goya. Goy, okay, Goy, all right, or Gowoyum, okay. You see that? Gowoy or Gowoyum, all right. So that's for heathen. This is dealing with an actual heathen. Now there's another word, nakar, okay. Moreover, the children of strangers that do sojourn among you, of them shall ye buy, and of their families that are with you. Okay, so I'm gonna go into that. Okay, Khan's a Khan. Let's go into this word strangers right here, see what it says. I'm doing this off the fly. I didn't really have anything prepared for this. No. The word nakar. Which one? Oh, usury. Let's deal with usury. I think it's in that one. Usury. Usury. If thou lend money to any of my people. Okay, let's do this. If thou lend money to any of my people that is poor by thee, thou shalt not be to him as a usurer, which means to what? To have interest upon the money that you lend them. Okay, like Esau does in his banking system, right? Neither shalt thou lay upon him usury. If thou at all take thy neighbor's raiment, so on and so forth. Okay, this one is not going into the one with the heathen. Let's do this real quick. Okay, let's do this one. Deuteronomy 23. It says, verse 20. Deuteronomy 23 and verse 20. I'll start at 19. It says, thou shalt not lend upon usury to thy brother, usury of money, usury of victuals, usury of anything that is lent upon usury. Unto a stranger thou mayest lend upon usury. So this is different from the other strangers, okay, with certain strangers that is speaking about where, they can get land and so on and so forth. That's different. This is a different kind of stranger, okay? But unto thy brother thou shalt not lend upon usury, that Yahweh thy power may bless thee in all that thou settest thine hand to in the land whither thou goest to possess it, right? And you may see in certain cases where it's speaking about an Israelite, it may say nakar in particular cases, but most of the time that's speaking about a heathen. Okay, and then when it says gar, sometimes it may be speaking about the actual heathen. Okay, but in some of those cases, it's speaking about the Israelites. Okay, like this particular case, this is speaking about an actual heathen. See, this word here is not gar, it's nakar. Look at it, nakaria. Okay, nakaria. This is different. This is not a sojourner. This has nothing to do with being a sojourner or a traveler. Okay, it says foreign, alien. Okay, foreign women, unknown, unfamiliar. Okay, it says strange. This is the Strong's. It says strange in variety of degrees, right? Because we're totally different from the heathen. And applications, adulterous. No, this is something else. Alien, foreigner, outlandish. Okay, so we're totally different from. This means someone that's a total different nation from you when you see the word nakar. Okay, right. And you go into the different precepts, most of the time it'll be speaking about a heathen. Right. You see here, like it says Exodus 21 and 8. That's what I was looking for at first. It says, if she please not her master, who hath betrothed her to himself, then shall he let her be redeemed to sell her unto a strange nation. That means a heathen nation. That word for strange nation is nakar. Okay, as you can see, H5237. Okay, H5237, right? He shall have no power, seeing he had dealt deceitfully with her, right? So, even when you dealt with a woman, even if it was a heathen, if you slept with her, you can't sell her for money. Okay, that's confusion. Okay, you could only let her free. All right, so this is dealing with the word nakar. So you can see there that there's different words for the word stranger. And one of the scriptures that those men brought out was, what was it, Ezekiel, was it Ezekiel 37? I think it was in Ezekiel 37, if I'm not mistaken. No, it's not Ezekiel. What am I talking about? Ezekiel 37. It's Ezekiel, what was it, Ezekiel 47? What was it that they brought out? I'm going to find it right now, Lord willing. But it mentioned the strangers getting the land. And I just went into it yesterday with the brothers. And, man, I tell you, bro, these bodies, man. It's definitely Ezekiel. But I got to find out exactly if it's what Ezekiel it is. 47. Right. Yeah, 47. Now, they're reading this and they're attributing this to actual heathen, right? This is Ezekiel 47 and 22. It says, I'll start at verse 21. So shall ye divide the land, and this is dealing with the Israelites in the land, right? So shall ye divide this land unto you according to the tribes of Israel, right? Now, when you look at the map of the land of Israel, which part of the map says this is the land of little Ishmael or little Canaan? No, all those the land was named for the Israelites. You have the land of Judah, you have the land of Manasseh, you have the land of Issachar, so on and so forth. There was no land or lot of land plotted for the heathen. Okay, the only lands that are going to be plotted is for Israelites that were not maybe born in the land of Israel, but came back to the land of Israel. Okay, it says, so shall ye divide this land unto you according to the tribes of Israel. And it shall come to pass that ye shall divide it by lot for an inheritance unto you and to the strangers that sojourn among you. Now, this is not speaking about actual strangers, okay? Which shall beget children among you, and they shall be unto you as born in the country among the children of Israel. They shall have inheritance with you among the tribes of Israel. It was, first of all, it was so strict, right, dealing with land, right, and not having even any tribe lose any of their land, that when the man from Manasseh, the tribe of Manasseh, he had only daughters, that was a big issue that arose because of that, which the Lord set that up so that they knew how to deal with that issue. They can learn how to judge. But the land was to go to the son, right? But he didn't have a son, so the Lord said, "Listen, if a man have no son, give it to his daughters." And then later, they came back after that, right? And they said, "Listen, okay, if he give the inheritance to his daughters, if they marry another tribe, the land of Manasseh would go to another tribe." So the Lord said, "What they said is good. Now, what you should tell them." I'm just running through it, okay? Now, what you should tell them is that they cannot marry anyone that is outside of the tribe of Manasseh, so that the land does not go to any other nation. So you're telling me that they can marry a heathen, that we would just be giving up the land to heathens? If even amongst the tribes it was very specific on not letting any other, even amongst the tribe, it was very strict on not letting the land of a particular tribe pass on to another tribe, because it was allotted by Yahweh Shem Yahushai for that particular tribe. You have to use common sense, and you have to rebuke these demons that come in your mind and get you to think false doctrines. It's the problem is you're not rebuking it. People stand in the camp and then they really have these thoughts but they're not rebuking those thoughts. They're letting those thoughts fester. And what happens is that grows, just like the faith can start from a small seed, that the demonic spirits can start from a small seed being planted in you, man. Okay. So it says, it says, and they shall be unto you as born in the country among the children of Israel. They shall have inheritance with you among the tribes of Israel. But then we just read before how the Israelites, how you can rule over the heathen with rigor. You could lend unto them with usury. You can sell them as bond slaves. So how is that treating them like yourself? How is that giving them, doing this, what it's saying here? This has nothing to do with the heathen. This has to do with the Israelites that are classified as strangers. Don't you know that King David in the Psalms, I just read it earlier, King David in the Psalms, like Psalms 154 or something like that, called Saul and them that was rising up against him, he called them heathens. Don't you know that? Strangers, excuse me. Yeah, he called them strangers because they were acting like heathen, man. All right. This is the word for strangers, gar. Okay. When we showed you what the word gar means, man. The word gar is nakar. If this was nakar, that would be a different story. This is the word gar. Okay. If it's gar or thawashab, this means an actual sojourner, a temporary inhabitant, a newcomer lacking inherited rights. This is what this is about. Okay. This is what this is about. Okay. That's why I said you were alien from what? The commonwealth of Israel, because they fell away from their heritage as the Lord prophesied that they would. Okay. But we're in the time now where we're completely away from our heritage. So we would be counted now as strangers. All right. So Salakia for the long-windedness. Lord willing, this was edifying to the elect. I didn't have anything prepared. I just came and did this on the fly. So Lord willing, this was edifying. I'll say shalom.